And Greg, please take it away.
Very good. Alex, are you here? Oh,
Yeah,
yes, of course you are. Good
yeah,
morning.
can you
How
hear
are
me?
you?
Hi, good morning.
So, Dr. Balekian, welcome to our your candidate interview. First and foremost, I want to give you an overview of Glendale Association of Realtors and give you some ground rules, and then we'll continue on. First and above all, our association was established in 1920. That makes us about 106 years old, and I do know that I look it. But having said that, we started with fewer than 70 members, and today our membership is at around 1,500. 1,200 of us are voting registered voters in city of Glendale. Giving back in our association hasn't been an afterthought for us. It's part of our DNA. Year after year, GAOR, Glendale Association, has supported local organizations and community initiatives. Over the past several decades, in actuality, we've raised and distributed over $1.5 million to causes such as Salvation Army and other vital community partners that serve Glendale residents. And so this conversation matters because the 1,200 registered voters of Glendale Association of Realtors, their extended families, and their sphere of influence do have a say in the electorate population of City of Glendale. So each candidate, including yourself, you will have 2 minutes for an opening statement and 2 minutes for a closing. Time permitting, you will be asked 6 questions, but more than likely about 5. And with that, we will begin with your opening statement, and then we'll go on to the questions. So please get started, Alex. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for allowing me the privilege of interviewing with you. So I am Alex Balekian. My patients call me Dr. Alex, so you can feel free to do the same if you'd like. And I'm running for Glendale City Council for 3 reasons: to crack down on reckless drivers, to lower electricity rates, and to limit dense housing away from single-family neighborhoods and away from small business parking lots. Now, as you listen to candidates and what they're saying, and when you vote this season, I want you to keep in mind 3 questions. First, is the city of Glendale as good as you remember it from 4 years ago? Second, in those 4 years, our city budget has ballooned from $800 million to $1.2 billion. Their spending of our tax money has increased by 50%. Has your quality of life increased by 50%? Final question. These people who've been in charge, the city council members, the city commissioners, are asking you for 4 more years at the wheel. Do you think they deserve to be rewarded with 4 more years at the wheel? No more excuses, no more bicycle lanes, no more incumbents. So the number 3 has been a recurring theme in this opening statement. And just remember that you can vote for 3 individuals. So in addition to voting for me, I ask you please to vote for 2 other like-minded candidates who also say no more incumbents. The city of Glendale is not well, but we can get it back to health. We will turn this around. We will make things better. I will get you feeling better. And with that, I thank you and I encourage your questions.
Very good. Dr. Alex, your first question would be from the president of our association, Joe Garpetian. Joe, go ahead.
Hey Alex, how are you?
Good morning.
Good morning. My question is in regards to revenue measures.
With what measure? I'm
To
sorry?
revenue measures
Revenue. Okay, got it.
to address Glendale's projected structural budget deficit. Some have proposed placing various revenue measures before voters. Would you support placing any of the following measures on a ballot? And please explain your reasoning. Number 1, parcel tax, real estate transfer tax, sales tax, or a vacancy tax on residential and commercial properties.
We don't have a deficit problem. We have a spending addiction.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna turn this around, right? If you are a parent and your child has maxed out their credit card and says, I need another credit card, do you go out and get a second job or do you smack them across the face and say, stop spending your money? So we don't have a structural deficit. We have a spending problem. The budget, again, went from 800 million to 1.2 billion in 1 year. That's a 50% increase. And inflation was only about 20%. And again, during that time, during those 4 years, the population of Glendale has actually decreased. So what are we spending our money on? Right? You're not spending it on people. Huntington Beach is a similarly sized city now, and they run their city on about $600 million. Granted, they don't have an electric utility, but still, $600 million is very different from $1.2 billion. So we don't have a deficit problem. We have a spending problem, and I'm going to fix it.
Very
So
good.
in answer
Thank
to your
you.
question, no new
Thank you,
taxes,
Alex.
no to all of those.
Very good. Thank you, Alex. Your second
Thank
question
you.
will come from our the chair of our local government relations, Eddie Minassian.
Good morning, Dr. Alex. How you doing?
Good morning. How are you?
All right, thanks for being here. My question is this regarding the council district elections. Do you support or oppose transition Glendale from at-large elections to district-based council elections, and why? And if you support districts, how many should Glendale have, and what criteria should guide the map? And if you oppose, how would you address the city's CVRA exposure and potential litigation costs?
Excellent question. I adamantly oppose an at-large mayor and also districting. And this coming arguably from the person who would probably win an at-large mayoral election if it happened today. Okay. So I think it's a terrible idea. How would I fight this, the districting? So lucky for everybody, I am also a trained statistician. So I publish research projects in analyzing large administrative databases. I have analyzed the election data from 2024, 2022, and 2020 for Glendale. It said that South Glendale cannot get its candidate elected. Karen Kwok, the prototypical South Glendale candidate, received most of her votes from North Glendale, from Brotman territory, Glen Oaks Canyon, and also 91214. The candidate for South Glendale is actually Varej Alajanian. The numbers show it. He is the one who dominates South Glendale, and Varej did get elected. So we don't have these pockets of disenfranchised, unrepresented voters. The numbers don't show it, and I've actually done the analyses myself, so I can very easily share my results with people and nip that in the bud.
Thank you, Alex. Your next question will be posed by our board member and former president, Carmen Arome. Carmen, go ahead, please.
Good morning, Dr. Alex. Pleasure having you here. So my question is regarding housing types and development. In general, which types of housing development do you believe Glendale should prioritize? Large apartment buildings, mid-scale multifamily developments, approximately 8 to 16 units, ownership housing such as single-family homes, townhomes, and condominiums, or a balanced mix depending on location?
I think we should do a balanced mix, and home ownership is a dream for most people. Nobody wants to be a renter. Nobody wants to put money in somebody else's pockets. In fact, that is the American dream, right? So in Europe, if you didn't have land, if you didn't have a title, you were nobody. And the American dream, right? A nobody can come here and be a somebody. And you can buy a house, you can have land. That is the American dream. So home ownership has to be prioritized and has to be encouraged. Obviously, a single family home as a first step is out of reach for a lot of people. So, and I think that we are building units for the sake of building units. We are not building quality and, more importantly, desirable housing. I'll give you the example of that monstrosity, the Pioneer monstrosity at the corner of Pacific and 134. You know, that thing's gone up. I think it's like 400 units at least. Only 15% of them are 2 bedrooms. The majority of them are studios and 1 bedrooms. So I get it. You want to bring single young people. If you meet somebody and you pair up, fine. You can maybe fit 2 adults in a 500 square foot 1 bedroom. If you have kids, you have to move out of there. This is not encouraging people to establish roots. But obviously there is a need, right? So if you want to build apartments, we have the dense downtown area. I think along San Fernando would probably be another place if we want to expand it. The reason I say there is because you have the Metrolink there. If you've ever been to someplace like San Juan Capistrano, anywhere in Orange County, really, Irvine, Anaheim, they've actually built businesses, restaurants, and things right around where the train station goes. So I think that would be, if we're going to expand and do more apartments, that corridor along San Fernando, going from this train station all the way up to Golden Road, that would probably be the place that I would put it. But I think we should prioritize home ownership within reach.
Very good.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Dr. Alex. Your next question would be from Kathy Lefkowitz, our member of our LGLR or local government board. Go ahead, Kathy.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
I would like to ask if you support or oppose removing vehicle lanes to create bike-only lanes in Glendale. And if you support lane reductions, what evidence do you have that voters agree? And if you oppose lane reductions, what alternative mobility or safety improvements do you propose?
Okay. Kathy, do you ride your bike? Where do you ride your bicycle around town?
Oh boy, on my
Right.
block.
Right, exactly. So I adamantly oppose removing lanes of traffic on large arteries, Glen Oaks, Central, Broadway, La Crescenta, things that lead to freeways. I adamantly oppose putting bicycle lanes on those streets. Bicycle lanes are to be used for leisure. They should go on quieter residential roads. Because you place bicycle lanes, you take away lanes of traffic on Glen Oaks. You will not magically remove the cars on Glen Oaks. What they're going to do is they're going to go one block up or one block down. Okay, so the biggest fear of mine is that Glenwood Road, right,
Mm.
which leads to school, the schools that I went to, Toll and Hoover. So people aren't going to go on Glen Oaks, they're going to go up to Glenwood, and then that is now going to be the cut-through street because Glen Oaks is too congested. So what we need to do is we need to be honest with ourselves and say bicycles are for leisure, cars are for necessity. If you want to put bicycle lanes on, put them on the quieter residential roads where people should slow down and they will slow down if they're bicyclists there, and leave the large arteries to cars. Did I answer your question sufficiently?
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And your next question, Dr. Alex, will be from our CEO, Sevok Zarabian.
Good morning, Dr. Alex.
Good morning.
Thanks for being with us. The question has to do with the following. The publicly owned parking lots. Do you support or oppose developing publicly owned parking lots such as in Montrose or around the Civic Center into mixed-use housing? And if you support the idea, how will you address parking displacement and protect small businesses?
Keep your hands off our damn parking lots. End of story. Look elsewhere. Go elsewhere. And again, this brings it back to the spending addiction, right? I am a physician. I understand and I recognize addiction. Dan Brotman, Ellen Asatrian, Artie Kasakian are addicted to spending money. These houses on public lots, those are not for the good of the community. Those are to cover the budget hole that they themselves have created. And I've heard through the grapevine that Artie's generous benefactor is the one who's eyeing the development of those parking lots at the corner, at the corner of Verdugo and Mountain. So these developments are not for the greater good of the city. They are not to give, affordable housing. They are for personal gain and to cover up their tracks because of their spending addiction. I am adamantly opposed to it. Keep your hands off our parking lots.
Thank you.
Thank you. And your next question is from our board member, Susan Brazilian. Susan, please go ahead.
Good morning, Dr. Alex. Thank you for being here. This is about the rent registry. Do you support or oppose a mandatory rent registry in Glendale? If you support it, what specific data should be collected and how should sensitive information be protected? If you oppose it, what alternative data sources should the city rely upon for rental market analysis?
So I oppose anything mandatory by the government. I was a property owner, a homeowner. I had a property in Van Nuys, which is under LA City. And in the 3 years that we owned that property, I had to have it on a rental registry because it was rent controlled. It was a pain in my butt. It was only one unit. Sorry, it was a duplex. So it was one property. But the added details of having to do that, consume some of my time, but if you're, let's say, a mom and pop and you have 12 apartment units and you have to register all those, it's going to start being a regulatory burden. I think that we could do a yearly count. Again, LA, Los Angeles, does a homeless count every year. Homeless people, they move, they hide from authority, but somehow LA still manages with its volunteers to count the number of homeless people. So why could the city not set up a yearly count, and you have high school students and Glendale College students who are looking for volunteer hours, right? Apartment buildings don't hide, they don't move, okay? If new ones come on the scene, it's not like they happen clandestinely. There's a permit that is applied for. So I think we can very easily create a rental registry with volunteer work, on behalf of the city, not to burden people, mom and pop homeowners, to get the job done. And I think that way we'll actually have a more accurate count.
Thank you.
Fabulous. I can tell you, Dr. Alex, that we are making good time as we are moving with your interview. So you may get a little bit more time in your closing statement and remarks. Okay. So why don't we start with that and share with us what else you think that we should know that is important in this campaign?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a pivotal election. 3 people are going to be elected. And if there is a majority that continues the trend for the last 4 years, Glendale is cooked. Glendale is finished. There is no coming back. One thing that we haven't talked about is the BRT, which puts a target on our back about building new homes. And the saying yesterday was, oh, it doesn't matter because the BRT is coming through and you can't stop it if there's lane or no lane. Well, my whole point is, you know what? We can stop it because we should remove all of the stops of the BRT from within Glendale. Let it pass through Glendale. Let it not stop in Glendale. Let's instead have the B line, for example, move people to the nearest stations in Burbank or Eagle Rock. There are a lot of decisions that are being made that are based on personal advancement and personal enrichment. Personal enrichment, again, there are very well-connected people who will benefit, mostly developers who will benefit from this wild, wild west, unregulated, and when I say unregulated, being disrespectful of our local zoning laws and allowing them to run roughshod. And then the other people are doing it for personal advancement. You have 3 of the current 5 council members who have already auditioned for higher office, and they still have an eye on higher office, and they will say and do things that will placate the state and throw us as local homeowners and taxpayers under the bus. So I encourage you to understand the importance of this race, because if we do not elect 3 like-minded individuals, and the people that I would recommend standouts would be Patrick Murphy and Beth Brooks. If we don't elect 3 people who are like-minded and will try to reverse the damage that has already been caused, then this will be irreversible. We will pass the point of no return. So I would like to impress upon you that importance. And again, I'm running for city council to lower electricity rates, to crack down on reckless drivers, and to limit dense housing away from single-family neighborhoods and away from small business parking lots. And I thank you for your time. And yeah, I appreciate it. And I will see you in City Hall in July.
Okay, very good. Okay. So, Dr. Alex, we appreciate you taking time with us. Some of us have watched you the last night, Northwest Glendale Homeowners Association Forum.
Did you enjoy the show?
It's well. Let me just be silent on that. But having said that, I thought every candidate had something to say, and we paid close attention to it, as we have today. So with that, we appreciate you, and we are going to say goodbye to you for the time being. Again, much obliged, and thank you for the time that you've spent with us.
Thank you very much. Have a good morning and have a good weekend.
Thank you.